Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Hey, Sugar. It's your girl, Risa Ree, y'all. I am on my way home. Just out and about, getting ready to take my daughter to the dentist this morning. And I'm trying to concentrate on this traffic. They jumping in and out of lanes, y'all, for real. But it's a nice morning. I am grateful to be among the living this morning. Hold on, the sun is all. But I hope y'all are feeling okay. That you're starting your morning off with a bang. Giving the Lord some praise. Telling him thank you, y'all. I was sitting here listening to the radio and listening to the Breakfast Club. The topic was, there's a mother that is petitioning against Toys R Us for a toy that they now have on the shelves. There's a show called Breaking Bad, and they have now placed a toy on the market with one of their characters, and he's a meth dealer. So they really have created a toy for little children to play with and to imagine themselves as a meth dealer. Really? What y'all think about that? I mean, and on the Breakfast Club, they were like, who's wrong? Whether the mother's wrong or the toy company is wrong. I can't say that the mother is wrong, because you gotta stand up for something. Yes, there are other characters and other video games and all of these things that promote violence and bad habits. So you can't blast one and not do the same for the others. But just the thought of someone creating a toy that's teaching children how to be a meth or dope dealer for real, that's not right. I understand that as long as I have been on earth, they have created toys, G.I. Joe, that have machine guns, these kinds of things. Okay. But drugs, to me, is on a whole nother personal type of level. You know, you use guns, and I'm not promoting guns because I don't like guns at all. I don't even buy Corey guns at all. But drugs are on a more personal type level because it's for personal use. You know what I mean? Not everybody is using it. Not everybody uses guns. But that's something that someone is choosing to put into their body for whatever reason. And it's something that can kill you slowly, you know? And I don't condone either one, guns or that. But I just can't find the logic in creating a toy which is not for, and they put an age limit on 15. There's no way I would want my 15-year-old to even be thinking of something like that, because they are so easily influenced. You know, all children are, but 15 years old, you see how many young kids are knocking themselves off. You know what I mean? Just killing each other. You want them to actually go from being in the house playing video games to being out standing on the corner, you know, wanting to be a meth dealer. I mean, seriously. True enough, it's a lot of video games I don't even like, because my older children, I don't like them to have them either. But that during Grand Theft Auto, if y'all never watched or played Grand Theft Auto, and your children, go to the video store and tell them you would like to see what Grand Theft Auto is all about. Grand Theft Auto promotes sex. They have hookers standing on the corner, then you can hear them having sex, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, what is that? And it was like, oh, my son bought the game. You know, of course, he's over his 20s. And I'm like, you mean to tell me they're doing all of this? They rob all of this stuff. They teaching them how you have to do certain missions to make more money, to buy certain types of guns and all of this kind of stuff. That's one too as well that I just don't. I mean, what's the purpose of that? You know, kids grow up and they okay, they're playing these games over and over and over. But the thing about it is, it doesn't matter about them playing the games. Who buys them? Just like my son, he's over a certain age. He purchased it for himself. Now, he knows how I feel about that. But you know what? Children grow up and they make their own decisions. And that's why he don't have it now, because I took it and I popped it in half. Yeah. I don't want that in my house because it's disrespectful to me. You know how I feel about it, but you choose to get it and you want to. I don't like that. I don't. And so I look at it as, if you don't want your children exposed to certain things, then don't buy it. For one, we can petition, we can protest against the toy companies making all of these things. But number one, don't buy it. Don't buy it. And I can remember years ago when Jalen and Mia were a lot smaller, there was a doll. No lie, just to show us I'm black and sitting here, y'all. There was a doll in Kmart. No lie. You walk up to the doll. You know how they have the little dolls, you push the palm of their hands and they talk. This doll said, we were in line and I was putting up a layaway and the lady came over there. She was like, oh my goodness, did y'all hear this doll? And so I went to go see what the hype was all about. Baby, the doll said, the Nation of Islam is the light. I said, that didn't say that, did it? Y'all, I don't know how long I stood there playing with that baby doll. I think I pushed her hand till all of the batteries ran dead. And they had a whole shelf with 2 rows about 20 feet long of nothing but those dolls stacked 5 or 6 high. No lie. The Nation of Islam is the light, is what it said. And I went to the front of the store and I said, you know what? This doll needs to be removed from the shelf. Because, yes, we have a doll on the shelf that is teaching children how to pray, say their prayers. But you're not promoting, we're not condoning you promoting dolls that teaching kids to do things, because the Nation of Islam is one thing, Christianity is another. But, and I guess they consider that as free speech. You can call it what you want to, but no, y'all need to get that off the shelf. So it was a big deal. It started on our news station. They started talking about it, and eventually they had the doll removed from the shelf. And I'm like, you know, we got to look at it. There's good and evil. There's wrong and there's right in this world. And people are going to do these days whatever they feel like they need to make some money. Okay? And I assume that this is why y'all see my makeup coming off. I had my glasses on. But I'm like, really? You really and truly, they made a doll that has, and they had, what tripped me out, not only is he a meth dealer, but he has the little small baggies, y'all, for real. Little small baggies. I mean, truly descriptive. They went all out. I don't like that. You know, I won't purchase that for my son. I won't. And I think if more parents don't purchase that, they won't have a choice but to take it off the market. We have enough going on. My mom called me last night, and in her neighborhood, which is where I grew up at, and it used to be so peaceful. I mean, it was a true suburban neighborhood, and all of the neighbors knew each other. And when I say it takes a village to raise a child, that's what it was in that neighborhood. But last night, about a month ago, one of my classmates' son got killed getting out of the pool. Somebody rolled up and shot him and killed him. Last night, 2 men and a young boy got shot. One of them passed away at this same park where the pool was. And years ago, they were having a t-ball game, and this guy was leaving with his children, and somebody rolled up to his car and unleashed on the car, killing him and hitting the children. You know, it's to the point now that people just really do not give a hill of beans about human life. I mean, it's one thing to have a beef with somebody, but what is it about your mind frame that makes you just say bump the children and all, they don't matter either, and you just start shooting at the guy even though he has his children with him? I mean, seriously. I mean, it used to be a point you could look at humans and you know, have sympathy, but there's none of it's there, but a lot of people just don't look at it. And I'm like, wow. They were having football. They were having football practice in the park. And you go and start shooting up the park. You don't care who's over there. You don't know if your little niece or nephew, cousin, somebody's over there. Somebody. It doesn't matter that it's your family, but these are human beings. Why? I don't understand it. And I won't. It's not for me to understand. What happened to human beings and the way they think, I don't know. But it is truly sad. And I'm going in the house and I'm calling my mom and ask her, is my cousin okay? Because they live in that area. And I had a dream that somebody called me this morning screaming and hollering on the phone telling me that he was dead. And I'm like, oh my goodness. You know. And he's in his 20s. He's older than my daughter Ashley. He's about 26. And he lives in that area. And I just, you know, it breaks my heart that people have just given up on life. You know, they don't care that you're taking people. Okay, they got to die one day. Yes, we do. But what about, why would you do that to somebody? Why harm somebody that way? You know, I mean, what happened to fist fights? What happened to conversations? What happened to discussing the situation? What is it so bad about human life that you got to take a gun to solve your problem? What happened to courage? That's not courage. That's cowardness. To pick up a gun and just go on and start shooting people. Seriously? That don't make you look like you strong and powerful and bad and all that. No, you a damn fool. I mean, seriously. You just really just gave up. And I know one sin is no greater than the other. So murder is no greater than lying or stealing. But what about the human life? What about that? I mean, I understand drugs are everywhere. The whole subject was just crazy. Why would you create a toy to put on the market that promotes something that can slowly kill somebody? And not only that, you could get yourself locked up for God knows how long from selling meth. The toy company should be ashamed of themselves. They really should. And I'm going to go in the house and look on the computer to see, is it true? See who is the toy maker. Because I wouldn't buy another thing from that toy company. That is truly ridiculous. I'm serious. It doesn't make sense. What is the logic in doing that? I mean, I understand you need to make money. You're making money off the movie. Nobody needs that type of... We don't need any more bad stereotypes, any more bad images put in this world than we already have. It's ridiculous. It is. It's ridiculous. I just totally do not understand it. And it's sad that somebody actually, oh, I got all this hair dye. You know, for me putting gel in my hair this morning with that hair dye, I get it in my nails every morning. And it takes me a couple of days to get it out. So I'm going to have to go soak my hands in something to see can I get it out. Yeah, I just flipped the script just that quick. But, you know, I do. I pray that they see the error of their ways. And because they have children too. They would not want somebody to walk up to their child on the way home from school and give them a bag of meth. Okay? They will be highly upset. They will be highly upset. You know? But you just think about it. You're giving a child a bag of meth. You're giving them a toy that's teaching them that it's okay to play with that type of stuff. What if they find a little baggie with something in it on the ground? But yet you purchase the toy that has these same things for them to play with. They're going to feel like it's okay. My mom say drugs are bad, but yet the toys they buy us have these little baggies, so I assume that it's okay, and I'm going to play with it. It's a lot of thing about humans and the way they think is unnerving, disturbing, confusing. I don't make all the right choices either, but oh my word, would I want my child to play with something like that? I don't even want Corey playing with guns. You know, the older you get, even with me, like I say, I have a bad mouth. It's not as bad as it used to be. But cursing is bad too. And I can't sit here and say about this particular toy and not think about the fact that I curse. If I'm going to make a change, I've got to make a total change. I mean a total change in all my ways. And it has to start with me and the things that I do and say around my child. And also the things that they watch and do. And the more I see what's going on in the world, the more I read God's word and know that it is imperative that I do so. And I know I can't right my wrongs on my own, and I need God's help for that. And I ask him to help me because I want my kids to grow up the right way. I want them to totally believe and understand, to believe in the Bible, to know that every word in it is true, and to have good morals, and to want to do good in spite of what everybody else is doing, and to never let that go, because, you know, it can send you down a path that you just are not ready to receive. I'm serious. Life is not the way it used to be 20 years ago. And life is so much harder. And when you travel down the wrong road these days, it is not a good thing. I mean, all kinds of things happen. And I'm grateful to my older children that they don't have any children right now. And I mentioned to someone the other night that, you know, if it was up to me, I would tell my children I would prefer that they don't have any children. Because this is not easy. It's not easy. Having to be a mother or a father and having to work and sending your children out into this world for someone else to care for them. And you don't know what frame of mind these people are in. You don't know what kind of morals and values they have. But whatever you do at home, you can do that. You can teach your children. And I know from me being a caregiver, you can teach your children certain things. But yet when you got 5, 6, 7 kids in the room that are not like your child, and your child is considered to be the nerd or the goofy one or whatever they want to call them, your child get tired of that. And they begin to pick up bad habits and do things to fit in with everybody else. Because it makes it easier on them. When you're going through that, it's not easy for these children. And a lot of children have committed suicide because they just could not handle the pressure. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want them to have to worry about that, but that's not my job. I don't know who God is trying to bring into this world. So when I will tell my kids, don't have any children, you know, but I can't play God. All I can do is pray and ask God to help them and talk to them about different things that they may, you know, come in contact with. And if a certain situation comes up and it has happened in my life or someone that I know, I can show them the example of, you know, if this happened, this happened, this happened, that happened. You know what I mean? But not to say that God won't give them a different result, because he can and he will. But I know you cannot avoid trouble. You cannot avoid confusion. All you can do is prepare your children, because even my little ones, my little girls come home some days upset because somebody kicked them and pushed them down. And little Mia she's just a little bit taller than Corey. And it hurts my feelings so bad for her to come home and say, Mommy, so-and-so pushed me down. So-and-so tripped me when I was in the lunch line. So-and-so did this. So-and-so slapped me. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you totally serious that someone did this to you? And it makes me mad. It makes me want to take a belt and go to the school and wear somebody's ass a lot out. Do y'all hear me? You keep your freaking hands to yourself. Off of my baby. But I know that's not right. So the fleshly side of me wants to kick in. But then I know I cannot do that. I have to go and talk to the teacher. If the teacher does not do anything about it, I'm talking to the people in the office. If the office don't do anything about it, I'm going to the school board. Point blank and the period. Because I send my child to school to learn. I don't send her to school to be mistreated. And if you cannot set the ones aside that are doing these things, put them in another classroom, or you sit down and talk to them with their parents or something, this, that, and the other, then I have no alternative but to take my child out of that class or that school. Not to say that it won't happen in another school. But at some point, children got to have some peace somewhere. Going to school, being able to come home and play. Being able to walk in the doggone toy store and don't see something that is totally negative like that. Yes, the Joker, Spider-Man, all of those characters promote something negative. They're crime fighters. Batman, he's supposed to be the hero. And I understand the concept of that, of fighting crime, because crime is real. But when you are starting out with a figure that is just totally, I can't even describe it. A toy that he's a meth dealer and he has little baggies. I mean, seriously. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'm speechless on that one. I'm just like, I know it's wrong.com. I know it's wrong. That's just like if you got a doll and the doll is promoting being promiscuous. Okay. Seriously. Or that's just like somebody creating a doll with a big hole in their mouth that's promoting giving oral sex. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, really, why would you want to make something like that? But who knows? They might do it. They put everything else on television, everything else on the market. And, you know, it was a time that those types of things, because they are real, people do those types of things, were for adults. Children were not exposed to that. When I was a little girl, the one thing that was kind of erotic, if you want to call it, or for adults that would come on television was Benny Hill. Yeah. But now the radio, television, internet, video games, movies have so much sex in it. I promise you, I don't know how many times a night I wake up, no matter what channel I have it on, somebody, you hear, I'm like, oh my gosh, for real? Seriously. Seriously. And it worries me because my son is starting to read. Well, he knows how to read. He knows how to spell certain things. And he looks at television and certain things, certain words come up there, and he's inquisitive. And the thing is, he remembers what the words look like. And he go in and he type them on the computer. Now, same thing. That's with me. I have to monitor what he do. And you best believe I take him off of there. If you can't, certain kind of videos and certain kind of things like that, I take him off of that. Yes, he used to love 2 Chainz. Now, because 2 Chainz was on the radio and videos and things like that, he fell in love with his music. But he got away from that because I got to the point where I stopped letting him listen to it. Because I didn't want him going out in public singing that. You know, I didn't want him feeling like some of the things that they say were okay for him to say. But then I had to look at me too, because if I say bad words around him, I'm doing the same thing they doing. You know, so like I said, I had to start with me. But it's a constant work in progress. You constantly have to be on your children and the things that are in, in the media. Meaning you have to stop them from watching television. So the other night, my daughter signed up for Netflix, and it's going to be a Netflix kind of thing, because I know it's bad movies on Netflix, but they'll only have access to the kids. When I set up the little page for them and the type of movies that they'll watch, because I gotta start at home. I have to start at home. It's imperative. It's no joke. And I'm keeping my children home as long as possible. As long as possible. I cannot be afraid to go into the world. I have to pray and ask God to help me and guide me and keep me safe. I know at one point in life I'm going to have to leave here. But I don't want to go until it's not about what I want, but I have to pray and ask God to help me every day. And to give me strength and courage in everything that I do. Help me to be the mother that He created me to be. To continue to hold tight to the values that I know is right. And to be the example to my children of the heart of God and what God expects and what kind of person you should want to grow up to be. And I would not, be so passionate about it if I hadn't realized that I was doing a lot of negative things. And even though I knew they were wrong. But just like children that are under pressure from bullies and, outside influences, I did the same thing. And that's when I began to curse a lot, because I got tired of being mistreated. I got tired of being used and talked about, and I began to retaliate. I did. I began to retaliate and say what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it, whether I hurt somebody's feelings or not. And I realized that I lost myself. I realized that I did not like who I was. I didn't like how I felt when I was in that type of way. And so I had to stop it. And I know I couldn't stop it on my own. And it's all because I have got to go to God for help. When you go down a path that it just truly take you out of who you are and you lose yourself and don't know how to get back, the only one that can help us is Him. Help us to right our wrongs. And I pray that throughout this day that we as parents get more help from society with doing away with so many negative images. I know sex is running wild. I'm a woman myself, and I'm all for it, when it's done the right way. And I have to look at the fact that I was a teenager doing some of the same things they doing. And I realized how different it was back then than it is now. Me being young and having sex at an early age is no different than these children are doing now. But the only difference, there is a difference, because it's a lot worse now. I mean, like, they really and truly are going no holds barred. I mean, they just going, as they say, balls deep. I mean, they just jumping right in. It used to be that women were a little more reserved and not so aggressive. Child, please. Women now, or young girls, whatever you want to call them, ladies, teenage girls, whatever, are more aggressive than men some days. They know how their bodies feel, and they don't care who they get it from. And they go for it. You want me to drop you off?
You don't have to. I'll be getting there too early anyway. Did you feed the fish?
No.
You said no.
You do it. Go ahead. My son is on his way out. Did you hear that they got a toy they done put on the market from that show Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
I mean, really, how stupid is that? The little thing sell meth.
Yeah, they was talking about the sensitivity because they had it at Toys R Us.
I know. I'm Toys R Us. For real, though, Toys R Us has always been the major kiddie toy store where you go and you didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff at Toys R Us. Child, what you say?
Remember that dog we had? What is
Islam is the light at Kmart. Yeah. See, my son remember. He had it on his skateboard. My son loves his skateboard. He's independent. He is. And like he said, I just asked him, you know, did he want me to drop him off to work? And he said, no, he'll go. You know, I'm proud of him. I am. And my son wears glasses like I do. And he's not the typical young man. He has always been considered to be the nerd, you know, and he don't dress like everybody else. He has his own style. And guess what? I promote that. I do. And he said that he don't want to just date anybody. He wants the woman that's for him. And that means if he got to be single for a while, he will. Because he was in relationships and he was like, I don't have time for that, to be on no roller coaster ride like that. It's just ridiculous. And for him to feel that way, I pray that God send a woman for him. Whoever she is. I don't care, black, white, green, or yellow. As long as she is the woman that God has created for him. Because my son he's a lot like me. Very caring and loving and giving and loves with his whole heart. And I don't want somebody to hurt him, you know. But I cannot shield him from that. And the same with my girls. And I do. And it's, you know, this... Like I told them, y'all, it's not just about putting your children on nice clothes, combing their hair, and sitting them in school. No, you got to think about their emotional, their mental, physical, all of that. You have to think about all of that. That's something that a mother never stops thinking about. You know, their emotional state, talking to them and being an example, their physical, their mental, their spiritual. Y'all, two lizards are truly fighting. Wow. Yeah, they fighting. But y'all, let me get off of here. It's 32 minutes long. This is my morning chit chat. May God bless you all. May he comfort you today. May he give you everything that you need to be prosperous. In Jesus' holy and precious name I pray. Amen. Bye, sugar.